Good evening all.
Good evening.
What a wonderful message it was. Given by Toastmaster Harish. A message on non-violence, which was practiced by great personalities such as Mahatma Gandhi. You opened your speech with a wonderful question. How many fights or battles have you fought so far? And again, you came up with another one question, how many people died so far in battles? These two questions were really impactful. These two questions actually drew all of us into a speech and made us think what you're going to say next. At the same time, you put in small amount of humor when you said like even Google doesn't know how many battles have been fought so far. And you made it a figurative thing by saying more than 1 million battles have been fought. So your opening was completely relevant to your topic, and it was really leading towards the main content of your topic. Then you gradually moved on to the main content of the topic, which is non-violence, in which you said what you meant by non-violence. By saying non-violence is to create an understanding and it is to spread peace. It was really wonderful. It really sang in our heart, the whole message on non-violence. And gradually he gave us some examples about Mahatma Gandhi, how he fought for independence in India by using non-violence. From there you moved on to Martin Luther King, how he fought for civil rights by using non-violence. And finally, you related the whole thing with our recent times by connecting it to Anna Hazare. So, throughout, you maintained the flow of your speech. The transitions were smooth, and you maintained the flow of the whole speech. And you came to the conclusion wherein you gave a poetry which was really from your heart, which was something very close to your heart. You gave the poetry in Hindi, your local language. And at the end, you translated the whole thing for the benefit of the audience, which is a great thing to do. And you said, it's not about me or it's not about you, it's about us. It's something not to propagate, something to propagate non-violence. So overall, your topic was really good. You had confidence and composure. When you came over here, you stood out here and you gave the speech. But in Toastmasters, what we give is we give some tips for improvement. That's the whole point about evaluation, right? So one thing that I noticed was when you came over here, you just clasped your hands throughout. In between, you were breaking the clasp, but again, you were clasping the hand. So what I would recommend is just leave a hand free by your side. So you feel free while you're speaking and not get to the tendency of clasping your hand again. Second thing, what I found was coming to the conclusion part, I think it was a little bit abrupt to end all of a sudden on your speech. So what I would recommend is to give us a hint on the conclusion, or try to wrap up the whole thing towards the end. That is the 2 tips that I'm going to give, and I'm sure you will be a wonderful speaker, and congrats on completing your project 2. Looking forward to your future speeches. Okay.
JayRam, Tilak. To evaluate the sales pitch, how to do a home automation speech delivered by Toastmasters. Let us welcome one of our humorous, ever charming Toastmaster, Ebrahim Siddique.
The opening with such suspense. Did I switch off the light? Did I lock my room? Toastmasters and guests, good evening.
Good evening.
The title of the speech, at your fingertips. It's very appropriate for your speech, P8, and also for today's world. Because without this finger, there is no life in this world. The topic was very catchy and the subject was also very catchy. And of course, the confidence level of my target speaker is very high, and there's no doubt about it. He's a very good speaker. Actually, the objectives of the speech P8 is visual aids. Your intention of bringing a high-tech visual aid is much appreciated. But in this, the purpose of the speech is to become well-versed with the visual aids. I think it's a little bit lacking. But in this case, you are using some props like iPad and iPhone, ThinkPad. You handled it very well without dropping. Body language, of course. The body language is an inborn quality of my target speaker. I'm seeing him for more than 2 years. I myself inspired by his body language. He had a good choice of words, and effective sentences, clear and wonderful usage. And you don't have to do any research on the subject because it is bread and butter. He was really informed about this subject. And my small suggestion is, when your app is not working, you manage it well. But I was wondering, in spite of having this presentation in this computer, you went out with a speech for 3 minutes without showing this in this display. I don't know why. And stage presence, of course, I saw today you were a little confused because it was not working, but it was not effectively. You were not using the stage, but it was looking good. There's no problem in that. However, in the last hours of fasting, I really felt his speech was invigorating our soul and body. Had your app worked well, this could have been a wonderful speech. One doubt in this technology: forgetting to switch off the light, it works. Forgetting to lock the door, it works. But many a time I forget to hug my wife before leaving. Is there any solution in this technology? There is solution.
Champion human goes with Toastmaster Ebrahim Siddique. Timer, let's have the timing, please.
Toastmaster JayRam Tilak took 3 minutes 50 seconds, and Toastmaster Siddique took 3 minutes 19 seconds.
Oh, thank you. Good. No voting? Ago, my question. What was the word of the day?
Invigorate.
Yes. Just reminder. Keep using it. Okay, moving forward, now is the time we got to evaluate the TT speaker. What the conversation in the kitchen happened? What about the iftar party? And the best wife, whatever is it. So let's do that by inviting a charming Toastmaster. Soft spoken, but his words mean a lot. Put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Nadeem.
I must say it's been a valiant effort by our young budding Toastmasters. Just like a crawling baby out of the blue, they came out like walking like anything. All young Toastmasters who of the club who attended the table topic session. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmasters, guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Now, my purpose, or the purpose of my role today is to evaluate all the table topic speakers in specific. I'm going to start with each of the speakers and I'm going to generalize the comments at the end. Now, the first speaker, Toastmaster Sriraj, I guess he was very much nervous, to be frank, but he paused for quite a few moments, but then he started with a personal anecdote which brought his venom out. And I could see the audience was very much glued to what he spoke, because basically it was out of his heart. The recommendation what I have for the first speaker is to, well, it comes with practice, with experience. Get that nervous energy out. Always get the nervous energy, because that will help you to express yourselves. And that was the lacking point what I could see. Second speaker, Toastmaster Leo. Well, I guess table topics master. He did a good job by taking that nervous energy out by spelling out his name in a very humorous way. And even that helped him, the way he approached the stage, got his nervous energy out of it. And his topic was that my teacher I remember. Now, being a table topics, it's not that we just come and deliver. It should have a proper opening, body, and conclusion. And I must say that Toastmaster Leo had a good opening, progressed with an anecdote, and also answered the particular question at the very end, which is a very good remark for attempting a table topic speak. The third speaker, Toastmaster Yasser, as always, the approach was superb, which everybody was attracted the way he progressed to the podium. And of course the question, he very much generalized the answer. He didn't pinpoint to one particular solution about his best time with the wife in the kitchen. Very confidently spoken, and his speech had a particular structure with the opening body. One thing what I would like to recommend is to please make use of the time, because I guess 1 minute 38 seconds was quite a bit low compared to the standards. So try to utilize your time such that you can start your conclusion once you have the yellow card on the light paper. The fourth speaker, Toastmaster Roshan, attempted the topic very well. Again, the recommendation is to have a constructive build-up. There is no need to say thank you to the table topics master, and there is no need to rephrase the topic because it's already been mentioned. Just take that nervous energy out, which will come to you, which will help you in delivering it perfectly well. Last but not the least, our guest frisbee. Well, this speech was the best example of just brushing around the topic. I mean, everybody was waiting to see, okay, what was the food that he liked most in this party. Rather, he was very much not interested in that. He was just thinking about the Toastmasters and everybody around us. And that was a very good way of attempting it. I know it's maybe the first time he's in a Toastmasters meeting, but I guess it's a very good future. I think you should be one of the members. So to generalize the table topic session, again, as I started initially, all young Toastmasters attempted very well, but recommendation is to make use of the time. I could see the average timing was like 1 minute 20 seconds, which is quite short for a table topic speaker. And the other recommendation would be, whenever you get a question, try to give that answer, that particular answer at the very end rather than at the start. Because once you give the answer at the start, that takes away the momentum to express yourselves. All in all, very well attempted table topic session, and kudos to everybody. Over to you.